Why does the law of attraction work brilliantly for some people, plateau, or not at all for others? This is a common issue those interested in the law of attraction face, but oftentimes the industry tells us we have the wrong mindset, the wrong vibration, limiting beliefs holding us back. But we did the work and we're still hitting a ceiling. What if the answer isn't your practice? What if it's actually broader, structural? That's what this video explores, the broader system at play. Now there's a reason that the law of attraction works, and that's because it gets the individual matrix very right. That being our childhood programming and how it affects our mental, emotional, spiritual, and energetic bodies. Our personal reality from our subconscious programming. And so when we see our childhood beliefs, our upper limits, generational patterns that are holding us back as adults, we can unlearn those patterns and bring new experiences into our lives. And yet we may still hit a ceiling that we cannot explain. This video is not a critique of the law of attraction, but there's an incomplete piece to the puzzle. While we may ask, why isn't my law of attraction practice working? The question that helped me break through was asking, what is money? And for now, we're going to focus on what is money doing? We imagine that money is a form of communication and trade between humans that is designed to store our life force energy. If someone works hard and manifests income and saves it, the assumption is that that stored energy is preserved. But is it? If we look at what money's done over time, essentially, no matter what currency you're using, dollars, pesos, yen, lira, whatever you're using, our experience of our ability to actually buy things with money diminishes over time. We can buy less and less with the same amount of money. Can you buy more things with the same bill this year compared to last year, or even 5 years ago, or 10? While we believe money is supposed to store our life force energy, the reality is the money we manifest doesn't hold what we put into it. That's not a spiritual failing, it's a structural design of the system in which we live. And so what's happening from my observation and experience in personal development and spirituality is that we can manifest water. But when we hit a plateau and we struggle and we ask the gurus what's going on, they say to us, but just go manifest more water, align with the frequency of water. And we're pouring it into this empty, leaky bucket. No one's addressing the bucket because we live in a system designed to siphon away our life force energy. If money represents our life force energy, the time, effort, and skills that we put into our work, that we expect to transport through time and space to be able to buy things in the future, and that's not happening, then the reality is our system has a big leaky bucket. But the experience of reality can be very different depending on which operating system we're using. Some people trade their time for money. They work, they earn, and they save, but they're putting it in to a leaky bucket. While other people make more money while they sleep. Their time is detached from their income. They have things that compound in value, that gain more value over time. Both groups can do the inner work. They can align their vibration. Both can manifest income, but the structural experience of what happens to that manifested income is completely different. And so this is why the law of attraction appears to work brilliantly for some people and plateau or not work for others. In reality, those closest to newly printed money benefit first, and those furthest away feel the depletion. This is why wealth concentrates into the hands of the wealthiest people on earth, because they own assets, that not leaky bucket. Whereas wage workers are trading their time for money and storing it in a leaky bucket. And so asset owners, they have things like real estate, stocks, land, gold, silver, things that appreciate in value over time. And this truly is the case for many gurus, and I'm not blaming them. But still, when we look deeper, the frame that they're operating from is sometimes disconnected from the reality of wage workers. And while asset owners may seem like they're winning, nobody truly wins inside a system designed to drain everyone. Essentially, we're all playing inside a broken container. The wins of asset owners are actually someone else's loss. That's why it's a zero-sum game. We were born into a system based on the laws of man rather than natural law, designed for scarcity. And that's why it's so difficult to manifest abundance within this system. But there's another system based on natural and universal laws where everyone wins. And I talk about it on this channel. The inner work is not wasted. It's a foundation. Understanding the structural layer, for me, completes the law of attraction. When we understand the system in which we operate, we can have much more agency. And so the question is, am I working on my individual programming? And if you made it this far in the video, I would wager the answer is yes. But the other question is, am I examining the system in which I'm storing my life force energy. And I've observed that this is not a question that's discussed in the space. Both questions are just as important because there's an economic law that states abundance in money creates scarcity everywhere, and scarcity in money creates abundance. I can only invite you to sit with this universal truth and try to disprove it. What would change about your practice if the ceiling wasn't yours to break, but a structure to understand? The assessment at Daniella.io/assessment is private, free, and no email is required. It shows you where you are across individual and systemic programming. The result puts words to what you may already be experiencing. If this framework resonates, the book Beyond Money goes even deeper. It was written exactly for the person who has done real inner work and is wondering what comes next. I'll continue to discuss these topics on the channel as well, so stay tuned. Thanks for being here.